From the outset, I wanted my science fiction to incorporate this odd but fundamentally consistent view of the world. It felt right. Lots of SF concerns aliens, and this nameless philosophy seemed pretty damn alien to just about everyone I knew. When I finally got around to writing An Enemy of the State, I decided to make it a manifesto of sorts. But I didn't want it to be too deadly serious, so I had some fun with the quotes that opened the chapters, using a wide array of sources ranging from Thomas Jefferson to Roger Ramjet. And when I couldn't find something that suited the mood, I fabricated a quote and attributed it to the second book of Kyfho, revised Eastern Sect edition. Kyfho is my word, an anagram that's explained in the novel, but it seems to have taken on a life of its own. A moment ago I did a Google search for the word and got 187 hits. I've seen a Kyfho license plate. Newsgroup participants have incorporated quotes from the second book of Kyfho into their signature files. I've had readers contact me asking me where they can buy a copy of the book. Sorry, you can't. Someone wrote and suggested that I should write the book and sell it, and if I didn't have time, he'd do it for me. Sorry, you can't. A number of people wrote to tell me that An Enemy of the State changed their lives. Now that's scary. If you change someone's life, aren't you responsible for what they do with it? An even more unsettling result of the success of An Enemy of the State was that I began to hear myself referred to as that libertarian sci-fi writer. Not wanting to be stuck in that or any other pigeonhole, I decided to take a vacation from SF. My next novel was The Keep, but that's a whole other story. For my parents. Prologue. It appears there will always be unanswered questions about the Great Conspiracy, especially since its chief engineer, Peter LaNague, was not available afterward for questioning. The remarkable depth of his conspiracy's penetration into the fabric of imperial society left many traceable elements in its wake, and so we have a reasonably clear picture of events during the 5-year pre-insurrection period. But what preceded the conspiracy itself? What started it all? What made Peter LaNague decide that the time was ripe for revolution? Scholars diverge at this point, but the single-incident theory appears to be coming into favor in recent texts. The arrival of LaNague on throne and the cessation of attempts to assassinate Metep VII follow closely on the heels of a small anti-militia riot on Nika. There was one fatality in that riot, a young woman named Liza Kirowitz. But Kirowitz was her married name. Her maiden name was Boudicca. And there's the rub. From LaNague, a biography by Emers Fent. And I say, we've had just about enough. Liza Kirowitz was in the front row with her husband, cheering, stamping her feet, and shouting with the rest of them. There were about 200 angry people packed into the hall. The air was hot and reeked of sweat, but no one seemed to take much notice. All were tightly enmeshed in the speaker's word web. It's been well over 2 standard centuries since we kicked the earthly militia back to Sol system. They were sucking us dry, taking what we produced and shipping it back to Earth. So our great-great-grandparents revolted and set up the Imperium, supposedly to keep us free. But look at us now. Are we any better off? The Imperium has been taxing us since it was formed, and if that wasn't bad enough, it later came around and said Nikan currency was no good. We'd have to pay in Imperial marks. Now, instead of earthy militia, we have the Imperial Guard all over the planet to protect us from any possible counter-moves by Earth. They must think we're all idiots. The Imperial Guard is here for one reason, to make sure we pay our taxes and to make sure those taxes go into Metep's coffers on throne. That's why they're here, and I, for one, have had enough of it. Again, the audience broke into wild cheering. Jugs were being passed and sampled, while coats and inhibitions were being shed. Her lips and fingertips were already starting to tingle, so Liza let the jug pass untasted this time, and watched with amusement as her husband Frey took a long pull. They had both been born and bred on Earth, a fact impossible to discern from their appearance. Even their parents would have been hard-pressed to recognize their children under the layers of grime.